When the firewood burnt out and the last grain of rice turned black in Grandma Amina's pot, two proud families stood at the brink of a feud they would never forget. Welcome to our channel, dear friends. If you're watching this story, please hit that subscribe button and leave a comment telling us where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. Once upon a time in a small village by the riverbank, two families lived side by side. The Odas and the Warners had been friends for years, until a silly fight over a broken fence turned into a cold war. Mr. Odiu was a farmer who grew cassava and corn. Mr. Warner raised chickens and goats. They shared water from the same well and traded crops at the market. Every Sunday morning, the wives, Mama Odiu and Mama Warner, met at the well to chat and laugh. But one day, when a strong wind knocked down the fence between their homes, each blamed the other. "It was your goats that broke it," Mr. Odiu shouted. "No. It was your cows," Mr. Warner shot back. Soon they stopped speaking. The women met at the well in silence. Even the children noticed the cold shoulders. The market gossip grew daily. In the center of the village lived Grandma Amina, a wise old woman known for her warm smile and sweet heart. Every week, she cooked huge pots of jollof rice for her grandchildren. Her jollof was famous for its rich flavor and bright red color. People said her secret was in a handful of smoky pepper and the love she stirred into the pot. One evening, Grandma Amina overheard the silent whispers. She saw Mama Odiu at the well, her eyes sad. She saw Mama Warner, shoulders hunched. Grandma Amina sighed. "This feud must end," she whispered to herself. The next morning, she set to work. She gathered fresh tomatoes, onions, peppers, rice, and a special spice blend she had carried from her village long ago. She washed the rice until the water ran clear and cut the tomatoes into thick slices. With her secret pot steaming, Grandma Amina walked to the Oda's yard first. She rapped softly on the door. Mr. Odiu answered, looking surprised. "Good morning, son," she said with a gentle nod. "I'm making my special jollof today. Please share with your family." Mr. Odiu scratched his head but smiled. "Thank you, Mama Amina." He took the steaming pot and carried it inside. Next, Grandma Amina walked to the Warner's house. Mr. Warner frowned at first. "What do you want, Amina?" "A taste of my secret jollof," she said. "I made too much. It's only right you join in." Mr. Warner hesitated. But the sweet smell of tomatoes and pepper followed her to the door. He sighed and let her in. That evening, both families sat in their homes, jollof bowls in hand. Mr. Odiu and Mr. Warner spooned rice into their mouths. Their eyebrows rose in surprise. "This is good," said Mr. Odiu, his voice soft. "Yes, very tasty," said Mr. Warner, a small grin forming. But when each tried to ask Grandma Amina how she made it so perfect, the old woman just winked. "Oh, that's my secret," she laughed. That night, each man lay in bed, thinking of that jollof. Both families dreamed of spicy rice and smoky peppers. By morning, both men were up early, each with a bowl in hand, walking to Grandma Amina's yard. Neither knew the other was coming. When Mr. Odiu reached the yard, Grandma Amina placed a fresh bowl before him. He took a big bite, and his eyes watered from the pepper. He nearly jumped out of his skin. "Oh," he gasped. That's hot." Just then, Mr. Warner arrived. He called out, "Amina, I'm here for more of that jollof." Mr. Odiu turned and saw his rival. His hand tightened around the wooden spoon. Mr. Warner glared back. The air crackled like the coals under the pot. For a moment, they looked ready to fight again. But then Grandma Amina stepped between them, holding out a second spoon. "Taste this," she said, "and you'll see why peace is sweeter than any pepper." Reluctantly, each man took a bite of the new jollof. Their frowns melted into laughter. "This one is milder," chuckled Mr. Warner. Yes, and sweeter, added Mr. Odiu, holding up his spoon like a flag of truce. Word of the secret jollof spread through the village. The next day, Grandma Amina invited both families to a feast under the big mango tree by the river. She laid out bowls of jollof, chicken stew, fried plantain, and cold palm nut juice. When Mr. Odiu and Mr. Warner arrived, each held a bowl of rice. They stared at each other, then slowly bowed their heads and said, "Thank you." The first bite was quiet. Then Mama Odiu laughed as she spilled a little rice on Mr. Warner's shirt. Mama Warner giggled in return. Children danced around the table, waving their spoons. Halfway through the meal, Grandma Amina stood up and tapped her spoon on the table. "Today," she said, "we break the spell of anger with one perfect pot of jollof. When we share food, we share our hearts." Tears glistened in Mr. Odiu's eyes. Mr. Warner's jaw trembled. They looked at each other and, in full view of the whole village, shook hands. Just when everyone thought the feast was at its peak, Grandma Amina called for silence. She reached into her apron pocket and pulled out 2 small cloves of tobacco, something she never smoked anymore. "These," she said with a wink, "are the spices that make my secret jollof. Long ago, I tried pepper alone, but it made my stomach hurt. So I added a pinch of tobacco smoke to cut the heat and add depth. The flavor blooms like a flower." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Mama Odiu almost dropped her spoon. Mama Warner clapped her hands in surprise. "But don't worry," Grandma Amina said, "I only use a very small pinch. It's all about balance." The crowd cheered. They marveled at the twist that only Grandma Amina could pull off. From that day, every pot of jollof in the village had a secret, just enough tobacco smoke to warm the soul. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the Odas and the Warners walked home together. They spoke of their crops, their children's dreams, and the next village market. They laughed as the chicken clucked in the Warner yard and watched as the cows mooed softly in the Odiu yard. That night, Mama Odiu and Mama Warner met again at the well. They hugged, tears on their cheeks. "Thank you, Amina," they said as one. "You have healed our hearts." Grandma Amina sat on her porch, rocking gently. She watched the families wave goodnight to each other. She smiled, her secret safe, knowing that sometimes it only takes one perfect pot of jollof to mend what was broken. And so, dear viewers, remember, when trouble stirs, cook with love and a pinch of secret spice. You never know when a single meal can turn rivals into friends. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment telling us where you're watching from, and share this tale with someone who loves jollof as much as Grandma Amina.